Welcome to my video blog, where every month I'll address a whole different aspect of the journey of self-actualization as it relates to the month we're in. I like to fit the spiritual message into the season because the cycles of nature just so beautifully portray the whole dance between light and dark, life and death, yin and yang, and altogether create a template for the whole of human experience, with each season lending itself to a different kind of spiritual work and personal growth. So here we are in April. The spring equinox, which is the official beginning of spring, happened last month in the third month of March, marking the point where, for the first time in 6 months, light and darkness are equal. And we've entered the season where light is on the rise, growing stronger every day, and it can't help but touch us all and get our energy moving, even if we don't consider ourselves terribly attuned to nature, even if we never garden, even if it's still Minnesota cold out like it is where I live. When light is rising, we just know it in our bones, and at the very least, we find that we don't need our seasonal affective disorder lamps as often, and we notice our houseplants going wild. Every year this time, the presence of light just awakens us in any number of obvious as well as deep and primal ways. Of course, the true rebirth of light happened at the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year, and yet in winter, light is more of a quiet power. It's both dormant and pregnant, like the time after conception, but before birth. Spring, on the other hand, is for hatching, and Easter brings with it a whole riot of candy eggs and baby animals and Jesus the Son rising from the dead, as Christian symbolism blends with the earlier earth-based traditions of the solar sun being on the rise. The energy of birth and beginnings is exciting, fresh, and a little bit fragile. There's an openness and a childlike innocence to it, a sense of the world being new and that anything is possible. So what better time to cultivate in a conscious way this energy of excitement, of fresh perspective, and willing suspension of disbelief, not as a naive first step on the way to a painful crash, but as a creative force. What better time to open ourselves to the possibility of miracles? Now, if the pure presence of spring isn't enough to open your jaded mind to the possibility of miracles, try wading into some of the more mind-boggling findings of relativity theory and quantum physics over the last century, because science is now showing us a remarkable new definition of reality in which time and space aren't fixed, matter isn't solid, and the very nature of matter changes according to the expectations of those observing it. We're seeing that consciousness in and of itself has the power to affect the physical realm, and that minds are joined beyond the limits of time and space. To quote one of the pioneers of quantum physics, Erwin Schrödinger, on the nature of consciousness, he said, "The overall number of minds is just one." But this message isn't really about the mysteries of time, space, and matter. It's an opportunity to explore and experience these mysteries firsthand. It's an invitation to suspend disbelief, maybe allow your mind to be a little bit boggled, and take a leap out of the box of what you think you know. Because what's coming next is an exercise in miracle making. Now, going back to Erwin Schrödinger's idea of one mind, and then combining that with mounting evidence of the mind's powerful capacity to affect matter, And then throw in what we're beginning to know about the fluidity of time and space. Thank you, Einstein, for that. Take a leap of imagination and consider that simply through your intention to do so, you could connect with every other mind who has, or who is, or who will ever hear this message. Imagine that beyond the illusionary limitations of time and space, together we could form a powerful synergistic force of mind, with a capital M, capable of moving proverbial mountains of matter. Why not? It's been documented that prayer said anonymously, sight unseen on another's behalf, has a statistically relevant and positive impact on physical health. In fact, there are many streams of research showing that directed consciousness has a very real effect on the physical world. So, if you're still with me, stop for a moment and really imagine this. Envision your mind joining with the minds of all those who have and who are and who will hear this message. Imagine us joining in a common intent that every one of us now experience something miraculous this month. Now, what do I mean by miraculous? I think of it as something that's always for our highest good, maybe better than we expected, maybe we didn't believe to be possible. It's always win-win, it's always rooted in unconditional love, and it often shows up through all kinds of mysterious serendipity rather than through effort. And as your mind follows along with this focused attention, already you've become more than a passive listener. You've entered the process. You've begun to reshape matter, starting a healing ripple for yourself and countless others you'll never know. So imagine this joined consciousness of us all together as something clear and beautiful and only positive. An ocean of pure potential, having the power to do great good and incapable of doing harm. And imagine that beyond time and space, we've formed a synergistic, only for good, creative force, ready to be directed. You can add your own mind power to this in any way your imagination might suggest. You might aim a beam of light from your heart to this collective pool and see it grow brighter. And let yourself feel a heartfelt desire that these many, many others whom you'll never know now receive whatever highest good best serves them. You don't need to know what it is. And imagine that you believe this is true. Even if you don't have to believe it. Just imagine how it would feel if you did. The power of our consciousness magnifies whatever we give attention to. So simply holding in mind an imagined reality is akin to planting a seed. Now all that's left is to have faith. Faith provides the sun and water that nurtures the seed. Faith means expecting success and seeing signs of it everywhere and in everything. It's not about hoping and wishing, which keeps our attention focused on something that isn't here yet. Faith is when we're so certain the future will unfold perfectly, no matter what, even if it's not at all what we expect. We feel no need to be attached. So we're free to live fully in the present. Faith keeps us very present and at peace in the moment. Once we've stopped trying to worry the future into being, the miraculous present happens with grace and serendipity. So instead of looking for signs of your success, which is tinged with an attitude of prove it to me, doubt, this month practice finding signs of success. It's a little like being on an Easter egg hunt. You know without any doubt the eggs are out there. Some may be obvious and you'll practically step on them, while some you might have to peek behind bushes and rocks to uncover. Play lightly with the possibility of miracles this month and see what shows up when you least expect it. I'd love to hear your comments on this, and if you write to me at lynn@lynnwoodland.com, I'll send you a free download of a class I've taught on creating prosperity in our changing times. And on my website you can find all kinds of free downloads and recorded meditations. There's a free distance healing service and lots of other things to check out. And for a deeper dive into this kind of work, take a look at my year-long Miracles course, a comprehensive coaching program of online materials, webinars, one-to-one coaching, and more. So thank you all, and until next month, namaste.